What's up guys, I'm Daniel Knightley and this is Knightley Disclosure, providing you with fact-driven, non-biased coverage on the UFO phenomenon. So I want to read this really interesting article done by Chris Sharp that basically talks about incoming members under the Trump administration, which I find really interesting. So here we go. It's on X as Liberation Times, or you can follow Chris Sharp and find it on one of his feeds. But yeah, here we go. So things could move fast in the coming weeks and months. The incoming Trump administration must act decisively to disclose information about unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The stakes have never been higher, with advocates and skeptics vying for influence within the government. Appointing UAP advocates and whistleblowers like Colonel Karl Nell, Elizondo, and David Grusch to lead these efforts from within the National Security Council could be a game changer, helping shape policy and efforts to navigate around gatekeepers to alleged rogue UAP retrieval and reverse engineering programs. That could be a reality, as such figures do have positive relationships with key Donald Trump associates and family members. With Elizondo having appeared on Donald Trump Jr.'s podcast on 2 occasions, the signs that the Trump administration will take action are positive when looking at the team President-elect Trump is building. If Senate confirmation goes as planned, pro-disclosure advocates could fill key roles in Trump's cabinet. Figures like incoming CIA Director John Ratcliffe and presumptive Secretary of State Marco Rubio are likely to push for greater White House transparency on UAP matters. The same is true of incoming Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., who will likely push for declassification of files relating to the assassination of his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. All 3 will need to be confirmed by the Senate before being appointed to their roles. So let me just break this down. So effectively, those 3 that I mentioned, Colonel Karl Nell, Lou Elizondo, and of course David Grusch, 2 of which have actually testified in Congress about what's been going on with this stuff for the past, over the last 18 months, are going to be absolutely essential to push for disclosure. I can't stress this enough, guys. These guys are so important to this process. And if they're not involved in some capacity or have some sort of authority as to how to guide us through all of this, I don't think we're going to be looking at disclosure anytime soon. However, having these 3 involved, and Lou has alluded to this a few times. He was questioned by Chris Cuomo on News Nation recently, and he didn't really answer the question directly, but I think he is in talks with the incoming administration, which I think is fantastic. If we could get these 3 together, guys, I'm not joking, this is like dream team stuff we're talking about here. This would be insane, absolutely insane. Super important for the process, super important to get a move on and navigate around these gatekeepers that, as I've said before, these guys are better at their job than we are. Okay, they've been doing this for the better part of 80 years and they know how to cross their T's and dot their I's. So we're playing on the back foot whether we like it or not. This is going to take time. It's going to take a collaborative effort from a lot of people. Everyone plays a part in all of this. And we need to demand the truth and get some transparency and end this truth embargo, as Steve Bassett would say, who's currently a UFO lobbyist on Capitol Hill. So it's a really important article, this, and it's something that people really need to dive into and have a read of. There's another bit here that's highlighted. We have been assured it's not our systems, and added that means that it's either our adversaries have things with capabilities that we weren't aware of and that we can't explain, or it's otherworldly. Either way, I want to know, and the American people deserve to know what the hell is going on and what it is. So that was said by the incoming National Security Advisor, Waltz, who is a Green Beret, which would be amazing. Mike Waltz would be fantastic in that role because he really wants transparency on this issue. It's interesting, there's a lot of Green Berets coming around at the moment. I'm doing another video after this, which you'll find quite interesting, with another whistleblower that I think Jesse Michaels has just interviewed, which I think is going to play, again, a pivotal role in what we see over the next few months. I think this is really good news, guys. I think this is really good news. Usually when publications talk about things like this, there's word on the grapevine that, this is actually happening. So we should be excited about this, because this is really going to close that window and bring those dates forwards in terms of deadlines of what's going to be discussed, what's going to be addressed, and reading everyone into what's happening. There's something else here. It says, appearing on the Ecosystemic podcast in December 2024, which I did a video on, by the way, guys, alongside Rima Qued from the Department of Energy, Bandurik, described as a lead developer of next-generation propellantless propulsion devices, stated this. And this is a guy that had basically a tech company that was tasked with reverse engineering this particular type of technology. So he said, 40 years ago, I was involved in a company that used to do reverse engineering. And one of the things that came out of that experience was that some of the NGOs that were trying to reverse engineer advanced technologies reached out to us to take a look at some of the stuff that they had. And so he goes on to basically explain that this material that they had was thwarting their efforts to reverse engineer it. So when they got hold of it and they attempted to do anything with it, it would turn into dust. So it's like smart materials. It knew it was being reverse engineered, so they just effectively had the whole thing just, disintegrate into nothing. Pretty wild. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on within this piece that Chris has written, but these are just people, whistleblowers and people that are coming forwards, whether that's through podcasts or, speaking to Ross Coulthard on News Nation, or, there's different avenues that these whistleblowers take. It's not a direct route, and they certainly aren't going to Arrow, which is the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which, as we know at the moment, seems to be a counterintelligence agency from the Pentagon to grab these whistleblowers and effectively shut them down before they can start spreading more information about what they've been doing. So I think we've got to be very careful with Arrow, which I will do a video on as well in the future. But overall, guys, it's a really good piece by Chris Sharp, who's an independent investigative journalist for the Liberation Times. And, he's really pushing the boundaries on what we need to discover within the realms of UAP disclosure. So that's it for now, guys. You heard it here first from DK, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.